Taehyung, so elegant and with an incomparable sense of style, appeared wearing pieces from Celine's womenswear collection, and each piece seemed to have been created especially for him. The way the fabrics moved against his figure, the confidence he radiated with every step, and the serenity with which he held his gaze revealed much more than a simple wardrobe choice. Jungkook and Taehyung, known for breaking molds without even trying, have proven time and time again that their way of being doesn't conform to the norms imposed by anyone. They both live with an open mind, without mental limitations or gender barriers, and they do so with an inspiring naturalness. In the past, we've seen them wear feminine clothing, unisex pieces, and bold combinations that challenge traditional standards. But beyond the clothes, what truly shines is the confidence with which they present themselves to the world, the way their essence prevails over any label. Because they don't disguise themselves as freedom, they are freedom itself, personified. Jungkook, in a 2019 interview, said it with disarming honesty, "I don't like prejudices. True style is wearing whatever you want, regardless of gender." And today, seeing Taehyung again choosing outfits from the women's collection is not a coincidence, but a reaffirmation of his essence. He does it with a grace that doesn't seek approval, with an elegance that comes from the soul. And then comes that moment that captivates everyone, when Taehyung mentions the beautiful purple dress he wants to wear, and with a mischievous and confident smile asks, "There's no rule that says I can't, is there?" What for some might be just a piece of clothing, for him is a manifestation of identity. There are no barriers, no permissions to ask. Rules only exist in closed minds, in those who fear what they don't understand. But he, with the calm that always accompanies him, demonstrates that being free isn't about defying rebellion, but about living without fear of being oneself. And next to him, Jungkook continues to be a perfect reflection of that same energy. Both show that strength and delicacy can coexist in the same body, that masculinity isn't broken by being sensitive, and that femininity isn't lost by being strong. They break labels as easily as they smile in front of a camera. Taehyung and Jungkook don't need labels because they are already symbols of something greater, the freedom to be. And in that freedom, they create trends that not only mark fashion, but also history. They don't follow change, they generate it. They remind us that being authentic is the greatest act of beauty, that clothing has no gender, and that every person should feel free to wear what makes them feel alive. Choosing to be a fan of Taehyung and Jungkook is a decision that comes from the depths of your heart, because they are not only talented and beautiful, but they are also pure light, souls that transform everything they touch. Wherever they go, they radiate a warmth that transcends screens and distances, a radiance that needs no words to be felt, because just seeing them for a moment is enough to understand that there is something within them, a mix of authenticity, humility, and magic that illuminates everyone around them. Being their fan is not a casual act, it is a choice of the soul, a way to connect with an energy that invites us to believe in the genuine beauty and goodness that still exists in the world. Taehyung and Jungkook are not simply artists, they are reflections of what it means to live with passion and dedication, constant reminders that true greatness is not measured by fame, but by the ability to touch hearts. They don't just perform songs, they build emotional universes where every note embraces, every glance transmits, and every gesture awakens something dormant within us. Perhaps that's why being part of their story means feeling like you belong to something bigger, to a stream of light shared by millions of souls who admire them not only for what they do, but for who they are. There are times when a smile from Taehyung is enough to fill the day with color, or a laugh from Jungkook to make tiredness disappear. That's the magic they possess, they don't seek to dazzle, they simply exist, and their authenticity becomes a refuge for all of us who need to believe that simplicity can still be extraordinary. Through them, we learn that it's not about shining brighter than others, but about shining together, without dimming anyone's light, sharing warmth without asking for anything in return. And in that pure, human act, Taekook becomes a symbol of true love, mutual respect, and harmony, a living demonstration that the connection between two souls can be powerful without the need for labels or explanations. Being their fan is walking hand in hand with their art and their essence, letting yourself be guided by that silent sweetness that is perceived in every gesture and that reaches the deepest part of your being. It is finding solace in their melodies, strength in their laughter, hope in their closeness. And every time we see them together, sharing glances or sincere laughs, we understand that there is something divine in that union, something that inspires and heals. Because following them is not just admiring, it is learning, growing, discovering that the deepest beauty is not in what is shown, but in what is felt. Taehyung and Jungkook teach us without saying it that vulnerability is not weakness, that loving with an open soul is the bravest way to live. They remind us that being genuine is revolutionary, that tenderness is also a form of strength, and that being yourself can change someone's world without even knowing it. In them, we find a kind of perfect balance between light and calm, between passion and serenity, between art and humanity. Every time we see them share the stage, the world seems to stop for a moment, and in that silence, we feel the truth of their connection, a truth that doesn't need to be demonstrated, because it's simply felt. For those of us who truly love Taekook, their existence is a gift to be celebrated every day. Not because they represent an unattainable ideal, but because they remind us that true beauty is possible, that there is still purity, goodness, and sincere love in this world. They are silent masters who, through their art and their way of being, teach us to look at life with kinder eyes and to love ourselves more deeply. That's why, when we follow them, we don't just admire two artists, we choose to accompany two luminous beings who help us see the world with more gratitude, empathy, and hope. I hope people can see this in them, beyond their beautiful faces and perfect bodies, because Taekook is far more worthy than any surface. They are a promise of love without ego, a testament to what happens when two authentic souls meet and decide to share their light with the world. And perhaps, in the end, being their fan isn't just about admiring them, but about letting their essence inspire us to shine too, with the same gentleness, the same strength, with the same love they give us without asking for anything in return. Taehyung and Jungkook don't just understand each other through gestures, their connection goes far beyond what words could express. When they're together, every movement becomes a reflection of the other, every glance conveys understanding, every touch is a silent bridge that unites their worlds. They hold hands naturally, massage each other gently, observe each other calmly, and care for each other's every step, creating a secret language that only they know. This isn't something that happens with all the members of the group, their closeness is unique, special, a bond that seems to have been woven with patience and care over time. The most fascinating thing is that this intimacy is maintained both in public and in private. In videos recorded before concerts, they are seen preparing, one energizing the other, calming them with gentle words, making sure they both feel ready to go on stage. The way they support each other, how they anticipate each other's needs, speaks of a synchronicity that seems almost magical, a coordination that requires no instructions, only instinct and affection. Choosing to be a fan of Taehyung and Jungkook isn't just about appreciating their talent or their beauty, it's about feeling the light they radiate, recognizing the soul they transform with their presence, and allowing yourself to be touched by that energy that transcends music or screens. Wherever they go, they carry with them a warmth that transcends distances, a glow that needs no words to be felt. Just watching them for a few seconds is enough to notice that there's something special about them, a blend of authenticity, humility, and magic that illuminates everything around them. In numerous recorded moments, their closeness is so natural that they seem to inhabit a world of their own, one in which verbal communication is unnecessary because their bodies understand each other. If one moves, the other responds immediately, if one touches, the other reacts as if they were part of the same organism. These are small, simple gestures, yet charged with profound and silent meaning. It doesn't matter if they're in front of cameras or surrounded by other people, they do it without thinking, as if the entire world disappeared around them and only the two of them existed, wrapped in their own space of understanding and mutual care. Even in the hustle and bustle of a concert, their connection is palpable, almost tangible, and those who observe them feel a glimmer of that harmony, a reminder that some relationships aren't explained with words, but with shared glances, gestures, and silences. Every moment between them is a reminder that true closeness doesn't require ostentation. All it takes is presence, attention, and the genuine desire to be together, to be with each other in every moment, no matter how small. And it is in that simplicity, in that naturalness, where the magic of Taehyung and Jungkook lies, a bond that illuminates, inspires, and envelopes all who are fortunate enough to perceive it, leaving a sense of calm, admiration, and wonder that remains long after the image disappears from the screen.